I see the passion in your expression and your choices of words. It seems you are raised by an elderly woman.
Yes, I lived with my grandmother.
Perfect.
Not only that, I lived with my grandmother, and as I was just telling the chairperson, in the early 60s, there was this woman, she was over nearly 100, but she didn't have children. And I remembered my mother at that kind of time, when I come back from school, she would tell me to go to that old woman's house and carry all her clothes and go and wash in the river and come and pound, because what that woman was eating then was just plantain, pounded plantain. And I'll come back and I'll pound the plantain and give her food before I'll go home. So as a child, you know, I just saw myself doing that, and it has been indelible in my life. And actually, that is how actually I now grew to become somebody who take care of community, who know the worth of people in the community, the widows. I do widowhood program. I do school children program. I look out for those that don't have people that support them, and I connect with people who have and want to give, but they don't know how to give. So most of the projects in this community, when it comes to the vulnerable, I spearhead them and I connect those that want to give, but they don't know how to give, to those that want to receive, but they know who to. So it's been part of my journey.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
You can see the beauty of an African woman. That resilience, that home upbringing from our parents. They are tracks through which we develop our girl child. Because if our princess here wasn't well trained, if she wasn't exposed to African traditional methods of child upbringing, she wouldn't have all these qualities. You can read through her profile, the former Commissioner for Women Affairs, who has been into community service because she is a well-trained, she was a well-trained girl who grew into an adulthood, accomplished in her area of specialty. So come to think of it, what can you say about this new generation and what life was?
I think that this generation are so selfish. But also it depends on what you don't have, you can give. So parents that don't have that kind of connect with their roots will also raise children that are not connect with their roots. Parenting is key. If there's one to, for example, now, when you come to the village and you bring your children back to the village, instead of allowing them to interact with other children, you want to tell them, no, these ones are this class, or why would you be playing with these people? Why will allow them to interact? When they interact, they see the world from a different perspective. And when they also go, wherever they see a human, they know this one is God's creation. And everything happens by chance. Maybe today he is this. Tomorrow that person you feel is no person will become somebody. So, and for those that really are not somebody, they were people that they connected, that mentored them, that they looked up to, that were actually helped them to come away from where they were to where they are. So that connection is very, very important. When you bring, we are women, we are mothers. And I believe that when we were growing up, there is no barrier about mother. If my mother see another child misbehaving, he will spank that one. And even bring the mother to tell him, look at what your child did. And the child will help, that mother will also help to discipline that child. But today you dare not. Well, who told you to come and correct my child? And then people are fighting for children even when they ought to be disciplined. And that is why they are where they are today.
Thank you. In fact, our viewers, we have a keynote here. Parenting in Africa is a communal thing.
Yes, it was.
And the culture of our people have made it that your biological parents shouldn't be the only people to raise.
Yes.
It is a communal thing. When you see someone child misbehaving, it is part of our culture to correct that child and also report back to the parents so that together we can raise
a better society.
Yes. Having responsible children. So our viewers and our parents back home, we have to change that mentality of, abusing or taking into quarrel those who correct our words, provided such correction is not
done with love. Yes. Done with love. That makes me to say, when you are, I know when we're raising children, and somebody comes and tell you, I saw this child doing this, so I say, thank you, my dear. Thank you, my dear. In fact, let me be. It will also help me to be watchful, to know if actually that report is genuine. And by the time I see an atom of that, I will not sit my child down and say that this one you're doing is not. It's not about shouting, It's not about flogging, It's about dialogue. It's about expressing yourself, telling this one is not good. That's always, that's always something to use to say, do you want to be like this person? Do you want to be that? Okay, this is how to go about it. And by the time you do it with love, not shouting, the child will know, say, even in his quiet time, he will say that this thing my mother is doing, or this thing my daddy did, I think is for my good. Yes.
Well, in fact, it's very, very interesting. And each time we talk about the African culture. EZE-IKEMBA 1 TV, redefining African culture and the spirit.